Moments in our lives that appear ordinary on the surface, days that rise and set with the rhythm of the sun, yet carry a vibration so distinct that your soul recognizes it before your mind can even comprehend it. You have arrived at such a moment. December 15th is not merely another date on the calendar, it is a timestamp etched by the divine, a coordinate in time carrying an urgent message specifically for you. There is a profound reason your spirit has been drawn to this message right now, a reason that transcends simple coincidence and speaks directly to the destiny stirring within you. What you are about to absorb is more than mere words. It is a sacred transmission designed to activate, to shift and to release the very blessings your soul has yearned for in the quietest hours of the night. You have felt it, haven't you? That subtle tug, that undeniable sense of something building, a quiet hum beneath the surface of your everyday routine. This is not your imagination playing tricks on you, nor is it anxiety masquerading as intuition. It is the atmospheric pressure of heaven converging on your timeline. This specific date marks a pivotal point, a designated hour where the unseen becomes visible, where what was promised begins to manifest in ways you could not have predicted. This specific evening, leading up to the threshold of 9:09 p.m., is not ordinary. It is prophetic timing, a window of divine intervention opening for a precise and powerful purpose in your life. If you are ready to expand your awareness and finally receive what has been prepared for you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel now and join us on this journey of awakening. For too long, you might have wrestled with delays that seem to have no logic. You have felt the sting of closed doors that you thought were meant for you, or endured unexplainable stillness in areas where you desperately sought movement. Consider this moment, this urgent message, as your divine signal that the waiting room is closing. Something is not only moving, but it is unlocking, recalibrating, and preparing to pour out. Your attentiveness right now, your willingness to lean in and truly hear beyond the noise of the world is critical. Not everyone will grasp the gravity of this specific hour, for it requires a spiritual sensitivity, a discernment sharpened by your unique journey. But you, as someone who has walked the path of the chosen, have been refined through fires unseen. You have been trained to hear differently, to feel beyond the surface, and to obey even when logic offers no immediate explanation. That is precisely why this message found you today. The moment your eyes landed on this concept, something inside you paused, something awakened. It is no coincidence that you have experienced heightened spiritual activity lately. Perhaps you have had intensified dreams that linger long after you wake, or louder thoughts that seem to come from a source of wisdom outside yourself. You may have experienced restless sleep or emotions that have swayed like a storm-tossed ship without a clear trigger. All of this is part of the build-up. It's the stirring of spiritual waters that, when they finally break, will not bring destruction, but deliverance. This date is not about loss, it is about release. Prepare your heart, for the universe itself is observing how you approach this unique moment. Will you surrender to distraction, or will you lean closer into the silence? The divine has whispered something undeniably specific into this day, and that assignment is inextricably linked to you, your calling, your season, and the breakthrough you have prayed into existence. The stillness you may have endured until now was never punishment. It was preparation. It was a divine silence, pregnant with glory, awaiting its opportune moment to birth something spectacular. A spiritual setup has been in motion, unfolding long before today, but this is the moment where the light finally breaks through the cracks of your reality. The evidence will surface. The invisible will begin to show its face. This is where you will start to perceive what has already been decreed in the higher realms, and it is far grander than you ever dared to assume. We are talking about a breakthrough that doesn't just knock politely. It erupts with the force of necessity. The divine does not require permission from anyone to bless you, and on this day, conventional systems are being bypassed. The forces of grace are stepping over every delay, every detour, every negative word spoken against your potential, every assumption made about your limitations, and every plot conceived to keep you small. The movement is happening simply because it is time and because the glory of your true self must be revealed. The atmosphere surrounding you is charged with potential. You may not visually perceive it yet, but your name is being mentioned in rooms of destiny that you have not yet entered. Your situation is being weighed, and an unprecedented favor has been spoken over it. The conditions are perfect, and heaven is not asking for approval. It is poised to make an announcement. This will come through signs, through outcomes, through unexpected emails, phone calls, and divine encounters that seem too perfectly timed to be random. Something is about to show up that will powerfully validate everything you have instinctively sensed, but couldn't articulate. The weight of waiting has been heavy, yes, and there were days when it felt like you were walking in circles, revisiting barren places of the soul. But what you didn't know was that each step was forging a path in the unseen. Every prayer, even those whispered with trembling faith in the dark, was being collected, stored, and multiplied. This date is one of those markers on the eternal calendar designed to pour some of that accumulated blessing back over your life. This isn't just about turning a new page. It's about a new script entirely, a divine rewrite of your life's trajectory. This is why the intensity has risen lately, why the internal battle may have increased. The resistance senses something weighty is being handed to you, and distraction will attempt to delay or discourage you before the clock strikes that pivotal hour. But that plan will fail because your spirit is stronger than the noise. If this resonates with the deep knowing in your gut, take a moment to like this video. It signals to the universe that you are open to receiving, and it helps this message reach others who are also standing on the precipice of their own breakthrough. You have endured seasons of being misunderstood, of being overlooked, of being hidden from the spotlight while others seem to race ahead. Yet, that hidden season was never a waste. You were preserved, shielded, and separated for what is happening next. You were protected, not forgotten, and now the unveiling begins. First quietly, then with an undeniable roar. But the profound shift starts today. There is a specific vibration in the air that you will feel, especially as the evening progresses toward that critical 9:09 p.m. threshold. There will be an energetic pull, a deep sense that something is shifting, even if your physical eyes don't yet see the full manifestation. Pay acute attention to your emotions, your senses, your thoughts. The divine is speaking through them, nudging you to stay awake, stay ready, and remain in active expectancy. This is not about fleeting hype or wishful thinking. This is spiritual intelligence at its peak. This moment is a spiritual key, and those who use it will unlock dimensions of favor and understanding that others never knew existed. This message is not merely a confirmation. It is a call, a powerful reminder that what was spoken over your life is not dead. It has simply been waiting for this exact alignment, and now it is approaching. Your obedience to this prompting, watching, staying alert, remaining spiritually aligned, will not go unnoticed. The universe sees your effort, it sees your belief, and belief is the greatest magnet for divine movement. Faith is the door, and this moment is the doorknob. Turn it, step into what has already been prepared and is now coming to greet you. The sun may rise and set like any other day, but something is distinctly different about today. You can feel it in the quiet spaces between your thoughts, sense it in the strange calm that surrounds you, even if external chaos attempts to intrude. This is not solely about feelings, it's about a heightened spiritual awareness, an inner alert signaling that something divine is being finalized. You did not imagine the buildup. You are not mistaken about the tension. That pull in your chest, that surge in your gut, that is the soundless trumpet of awakening, alerting your soul. Be still, stay open, and receive. today is not about performance. It is about posture. It is about alignment, about being positioned so precisely that when the hand of grace moves, it touches you first. This date is not a coincidence. It was chosen, coded, and counted for something monumental in your journey. This is not the time for distraction, nor the hour to become spiritually numb, because what is entering your life requires your full, undivided presence. The divine doesn't want you half present. It wants your awareness sharp, your inner ear open, because what comes around 9:09 p.m. is not small. This is the hour when small signs will carry massive meanings. A delayed message, a phone call that seems random, an intuitive feeling to go somewhere or to refrain from going, a door closing unexpectedly. Do not brush any of it off. It is all part of a larger design, a divine pattern being completed in your favor. The signs will not scream, they will whisper. But if your soul is listening, you will hear the guidance speaking through everything. The energy being released right now is not just for motivation, it is for movement. You have been planted, watered, and pruned in silence, but this time is about exposure. Not the kind that humiliates, but the kind that promotes. The kind that opens up spaces you didn't even know were being reserved for you. Your name is about to surface in places it's never been mentioned before. People who have no knowledge of your struggle will suddenly feel compelled to open doors for you. Why? Because the wind of destiny has shifted in your direction. Something ancient is being settled today, something that has lingered in spiritual courts for too long. A case involving your purpose, your prosperity, your peace, and the final judgment has been issued. The ruling is favor. The result is ultimate release. While you may not perceive it instantly, your spirit will begin to feel lighter, as if a great burden has finally lifted from your shoulders. Because it has. The chains in the unseen have quietly snapped. If you have felt this heaviness lifting, or if you are ready to claim this release, leave a comment below sharing your experience. Let your words be a testament to the shift occurring within you. Angels and guides are on assignment, not to merely watch but to work, not to hover but to deliver. This is why the tension has been peculiar. In the realm you cannot see, there has been intense negotiation on your behalf. But now, the transaction is cleared. The answer has been approved. The package is en route. You are no longer hoping for favor, you are hosting it. Before 9:09 p.m., something invisible will attempt to derail your focus. That distraction is not innocent. It is a decoy. The lower frequencies cannot steal your breakthrough, but they will do everything in their power to make you miss this crucial moment of reception. If your attention shifts, if your energy becomes entangled in chaos or petty arguments, you will overlook the gentle yet powerful push, attempting to guide you into perfect alignment. You must be still enough to notice, still enough to obey. Everything is converging right now. Your history, your healing, your heartbreaks, they have all been intricately woven into this single moment. This date is where the scattered threads begin to form a coherent pattern. This is where the puzzle stops confusing you and starts completing you. What was once blurry now feels distinctly guided. Every delay suddenly makes profound sense. Every closed door suddenly feels like an act of divine mercy. The universe has been watching the entire board, and today the final decisive move is made. The sense of urgency is not meant to scare you. It is meant to awaken you, because even divine timing has a rhythm. When the call comes to move, you must be ready. If you've been stuck in overthinking, held captive by analysis paralysis, or paralyzed by fear, this is your breakaway point. You are not asked to possess all the answers. You are simply asked to be available when the answer arrives. There is a weight in the air, a glory, not a burden. It is not meant to crush you, it is meant to crown you. Because what is landing in your life isn't a problem, it's a promise. It's what you've cried about, fought for, prayed through, and most of all, waited for. The divine has not forgotten, the plan has not changed, and this moment is undeniable proof. This night, this 9:09 p.m. moment is not symbolic, it is active. The heavens will respond in real time. You may feel a tingling sensation in your body. You may experience clarity arriving in a flash. You may suddenly feel guided to say something, do something, or let something go. Follow it, trust that flow. This is how the divine works. Not always loud, but always specific. But this is where it gets even more mysterious. The mountain doesn't justify itself, it simply remains. In the same way, you do not need to justify your worthiness to receive this blessing. It is yours by birthright, reclaimed through your resilience. The ocean never argues its depth, it teaches it in waves. And soon, the depth of your wisdom will be taught to others, not through your words, but through the waves of your presence. You are becoming a vessel of immense power, but power requires a grounded wire to flow safely. That ground is your humility and your gratitude. As we approach this critical hour, turn on your notifications so you never miss a signal. The next message could be the key that unlocks the final door. Consider the alchemy of your soul. You are turning the lead of heavy habit into the gold of conscious attention. The breath brings the soul back to the present moment, and it is in the present moment that the future is rewritten. When you reach 9:09 p.m., or simply when you find yourself in the quiet of this evening, practice this alchemy. Transmute your anxiety into excitement. Transmute your fear into curiosity. Ask yourself, what if everything goes right this time? The mirror of reality reflects what you gaze at. If you gaze at lack, it reflects emptiness. But if you gaze at possibility, it reflects abundance. What you gaze at eventually gazes back. You are not late. You did not miss it. Even the detours served your destiny. Even the confusion had a purpose. And tonight the confirmation arrives that your heart quietly believed all along. You were always going to win. You were always destined to see this favor. You were always going to be the one that grace found. Now that you are here, on the very edge of this spiritual appointment, what matters most is your openness. Your awareness is your greatest weapon. Your peace is your power. Your obedience is your access. Do not rush through this evening. Make space. Listen within, because something is approaching you swiftly, and it bears the unmistakable fingerprint of the divine. This is your moment. Not someday, not next season, not in the distant future, but now. The announcement has been made. The activation is set. You are the vessel. Let heaven do what it has been planning to do. Stay open, stay present, and above all, stay aware. The move has begun. As you walk through the remainder of this day, carry this knowing like a lantern in the dark. Let it illuminate your interactions, your decisions, and your solitude. You are walking on holy ground, the ground of your own becoming. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Be the spark that ignites their hope today. Remember, the path clarifies only as we walk it. You do not need to see the entire staircase to take the first step. You only need to trust the ground beneath your feet. What you water grows, even in silence. You have been watering your spirit with patience, with tears, with hope, and now the harvest is approaching. It may come as a sudden realization, a financial breakthrough, a restored relationship, or a profound sense of inner peace that surpasses all understanding. Whatever form it takes, welcome it. Do not analyze it to death. Simply welcome it. The light does not shout. It simply reveals what was hidden. Tonight, let the light of your awareness reveal the blessings that have been hiding in plain sight. Let it reveal the strength you didn't know you had. Let it reveal the love that surrounds you, unseen but ever present. You are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses, by energies that champion your victory. You are never walking this path alone. As the clock ticks closer to the hour of alignment, breathe deeply. Release the tension in your jaw, the weight in your shoulders. Let go of the need to control the outcome. Control is an illusion. Surrender is power. Surrender to the flow of this divine timing. Trust that the universe knows your address, knows your needs, and knows exactly how to deliver what is yours. If you are ready to claim this breakthrough, type "I am ready" in the comments. Let it be a declaration of your readiness to receive. This is the turning point. The old cycle is closing. The new chapter is opening. The ink is wet, the pen is in the hand of the divine, and the story being written is one of triumph. You are the protagonist of this story, and the plot twist you have been waiting for is here. It is happening. It is real. Believe it, receive it, and walk in it. The time is now. Characters with spaces. 1, 2, 2, 4, 5. Script. But let us pause for a moment and look deeper into the mechanics of this arrival. It is easy to feel that the delay was a punishment, or that the silence from the universe was a sign of indifference. This is the great illusion that clouds the perception of so many seekers. We mistake the preparation for a denial. We mistake the gestation period for a death. However, consider the seed. When it is placed in the soil, it is surrounded by darkness, pressure, and dirt. If the seed had a consciousness like ours, it might believe it had been buried, discarded, and forgotten. It might cry out, wondering why the sun has abandoned it. Yet the gardener knows the truth. The seed is not buried, it is planted. The darkness is not a tomb, it is a womb. What you have experienced over the last few months, and perhaps even the last few years, was not a rejection of your desires. It was the necessary conditioning of your container. You were being expanded so that you could hold what is coming. If the blessing had arrived when you first asked for it, you might have been crushed by its weight. The success would have amplified your insecurities. The relationship would have triggered your unhealed traumas. The abundance would have magnified your lack of discipline. The universe loves you too much to give you a gift that would destroy you. So, it waited. It allowed the pressure to build your character. It allowed the heat to refine your gold. And now, the gardener is walking back toward the plot of land that is your life. The season has shifted. The waiting was the work. This brings us to a profound realization about the nature of resistance. Often, the greatest obstacle standing between us and our destiny is not an external force, but an internal barrier we have unknowingly constructed. We build walls to protect our hearts from pain, but those same walls block the entry of joy. We grip our past stories so tightly that our hands are not open to receive a new future. This is the paradox of the human condition. We desperately want change, yet we are terrified of the unknown. We ask for a new life, but we keep checking the rearview mirror, ensuring the old life is still there. If this resonates with your spirit, if you have felt this tug of war between your desire for the new and your comfort in the old, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. By joining us, you are making a conscious commitment to release the old and embrace the wisdom that leads to true transformation. We must understand that the universe operates on the law of resonance. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. This is why trying so hard often pushes the result away. Trying implies a lack. It implies that the object of your desire is separate from you, distant and difficult to attain. When you vibrate at the frequency of wanting, you are sending a signal to the universe that says, "I do not have." And the universe, which is a giant mirror, faithfully reflects that reality back to you. It gives you more of not having. To shift this, we must move from the energy of wanting to the energy of being. Think of the ocean. The ocean never argues its depth, it simply remains. It does not strive to be wet. It is wetness itself. When you embody the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you walk with the quiet confidence of someone who already knows they are taken care of, the external world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your internal state. This is not magic in the theatrical sense. It is the physics of consciousness. You are the projector and the world is the screen. If you do not like the movie playing on the screen, it is futile to yell at the screen or try to scrub the images off the canvas. You must change the film inside the projector. You must change the story you're telling yourself about who you are and what you deserve. This internal shift requires a level of honesty that can be uncomfortable. It asks us to look at the shadows we have ignored. It asks us to examine the beliefs we inherited from our parents, our society, and our past failures. Are you carrying a belief that money is evil? Are you harboring a suspicion that love always leaves? Are you convinced that life is a struggle and nothing comes easily? These silent scripts are running in the background of your mind, sabotaging your efforts. You might be pressing the accelerator with your conscious intentions, but your subconscious beliefs are slamming on the brakes. The smell of burning rubber is the frustration you feel in your life. To clear this resistance, we must practice the art of surrender. Now, surrender is a word that is often misunderstood. In our modern culture, surrender sounds like defeat. It sounds like giving up, waving a white flag, and letting the enemy win. But in the spiritual realm, surrender is the ultimate act of power. It is not giving up, it is giving over. It is the wisdom to stop fighting the current and start floating. When you are caught in a turbulent river, struggling against the flow will only exhaust you and pull you under. But if you relax, if you trust the buoyancy of the water, the current will eventually carry you to safe shores. Surrender means detaching from the how. We are often clear about the what. We know we want the healing, the career, the partner, but then we become obsessed with the how. We try to micromanage the universe. We create rigid timelines and specific expectations of how the blessing must look. And when it doesn't happen exactly as we planned, we panic. We lose faith. We do not realize that the universe has infinite ways to deliver your good, ways that are far more creative and efficient than your limited logic can conceive. By fixating on one specific path, you may be closing your eyes to the 10 other doors that have swung open for you. Letting go of the how requires trust. It requires you to believe that there is a benevolent intelligence orchestrating the dance of galaxies and the beating of your heart. If this intelligence can manage the rotation of the planets without your help, surely it can manage the details of your career and your relationships. Your job is to hold the vision and maintain the vibration of gratitude. The universe's job is the logistics. When you try to do the universe's job, you create stress. When you stick to your job, you create flow. Consider the metaphor of the radio. If you want to listen to a specific station, you must tune your dial to that frequency. You cannot listen to 98.5 FM if your dial is stuck on 101.3 FM. You can pray for the music, you can beg for the music, you can be a good person who deserves the music, but until you tune the dial, you will hear only static. Your emotions are the dial. If you are tuned to the frequency of anxiety, you cannot receive the broadcast of peace. If you are tuned to the frequency of resentment, you cannot receive the broadcast of love. This evening, as you sit with yourself, check your dial. What signal are you broadcasting? If you find yourself in a lower frequency, do not judge yourself. Simply notice it. Awareness is the first step of calibration. Gently, with compassion, reach for a thought that feels slightly better. You do not have to jump from depression to ecstasy in one leap. Just reach for relief. Reach for hope. Reach for a memory of kindness. Bit by bit, turn the dial. There is a powerful scientific truth here as well. Our brains are wired for survival, which means they are naturally biased toward negativity. It is an ancient mechanism designed to keep us safe from predators. But in the modern world, this mechanism often keeps us safe from happiness. We scan for danger, for criticism, for lack. To change this, we must actively practice gratitude. Gratitude is not just a polite social custom, it is a neurological restructuring tool. When you practice gratitude, you are literally building new neural pathways in your brain. You are training your mind to scan for the good, and as you scan for the good, you find more of it. It is the Tetris effect. If you play the game long enough, you start seeing the blocks everywhere. If you practice gratitude long enough, you start seeing blessings everywhere. If you are willing to retune your frequency right now, take a moment to hit the like button. Let this simple action be a physical signal that you are shifting your energy from passive observation to active participation in your own rising. As we move deeper into this understanding, we encounter the role of forgiveness. This is perhaps the heaviest bag of bricks we carry. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It binds us to the past and to the person who hurt us. As long as you harbor resentment, you are energetically tethered to that old timeline. You cannot walk through the new door while you are chained to the old wall. Forgiveness does not mean condoning bad behavior. It does not mean what happened was okay. It means you are no longer willing to let that event define your present. It means you value your peace more than your grievance. You are cutting the energetic cord so that you can fly free. Sometimes, the person you most need to forgive is yourself. We are often our own harshest critics. We replay our mistakes, our missed opportunities, our moments of weakness. We hold court in our minds, serving as judge, jury, and executioner, sentencing ourselves to a life of mediocrity as penance for past sins. But listen closely. You cannot shame yourself into a better version of yourself. Shame is a cage, not a cocoon. You must forgive the younger version of you who didn't know what you know now. You must forgive the version of you who was trying to survive with the tools you had at the time. Release that version of you with love. Tell them, "Thank you for getting me here. I can take it from here."